Welcome to today's show. Now, the extraordinary building behind me is one of the most important examples of late Elizabethan architecture anywhere in the country. And it was also home to one of the most influential advisors in the court of Elizabeth I. So who was he and where are we? In today's show, I'll be helping a couple who want to up sticks from their caravan and find a permanent home in the country, although a sledgehammer might be required.
Well, you could take that wall out if that's the kitchen.
Are you thinking about knocking down another wall?
Possibly.
But then our mystery house challenges them to get a new perspective. Well, today we're in Lincolnshire, and this is Burley House. It was built by Sir William Cecil, Lord Treasurer to Elizabeth I, later, of course, Lord Burley. Now, the extraordinary thing is that although it was completed in 1587, it's been a family home ever since, and it really is one of the great architectural gems in the county's crown. Spanning over 2,000 square miles, Lincolnshire sits on the edge of England's east coast, facing out towards the North Sea. And it's from this sea that water flows inland to its main estuary known as the Wash, where the low-lying fenlands are notoriously flat. The region's plentiful, rich soil is one of the county's chief assets. In fact, farming contributes £1 billion to the local economy, with Lincolnshire ranking as the largest producer of potatoes, wheat and cereal in the UK. As one of the major food bowls of England, the county retains its rural and rather undeveloped feel, making it a prime location for those in search of a peaceful retreat. Now, because pretty large areas of Lincolnshire have been given over to agricultural production, that means that the population here is relatively small, given the large geographic size of the rest of the county. To put that in some sort of context, somebody somewhere has managed to work out that there are just 118 people living here per square kilometre, compared to a national average of 398. And because the county is tucked away on the east coast, without the demands of being in any sort of commuter belt, well, that's had a pretty significant impact on house prices as well. Your average detached will set you back around about £140,000. That's 83 grand below the national average. So if you fancy a bit of peace and quiet with some much needed value for money, then Lincolnshire is definitely worth a look. For just shy of £250,000, this renovated Grade 2 listed cottage in Heckington maintains its character features in the main living areas and offers 3 bedrooms, along with a pretty paved garden outside. Or for £338,000, there's this 3-bedroom cottage in Brauncewell, which, along with 2 traditional reception rooms, also has a stone-built garden room which overlooks the half-acre of beautifully landscaped grounds. For deeper pockets, this 5-bedroom period house in the village of Eton is available for a shade under £700,000 and provides wonderfully relaxing living rooms, which emphasise its original rustic features. And the well-positioned terrace looks out over attractive gardens. So as you can see, some fantastic properties with some very tempting prices attached to them. Fine fare indeed, which of course is exactly why today's buyers want to move here. Retired police officers Trevor and Vicky really do need our help. They sold their character property in Grimsby last year, and to tide them over while they find their perfect country home, they've been living in their 1-bedroom caravan in Newark, Nottinghamshire, accompanied by their 2 dogs. But they're desperate to find a more permanent roof to live under.
Now's the right time for us to move, and has been for a while, due to our change of circumstances as we've both now retired. We've got different lifestyle requirements to what we had previously. We like the idea of a country lifestyle. It'd be great if we can just wander out of the house and take the dogs for a walk. We both like country pursuits, walking, and I enjoy my golf. So it'd be nice to have that country environment around us.
They've nailed down their search area to locations between Lincoln, Grantham and Newark, but there's divided opinion on quite how rural they want to be.
I think we both agree that we'd like to be on the edge of a village where there's some community activity going on, but I tend to look at places that are more isolated than Trev would do. And I tend to look at places that are probably bigger than he would look for and would probably need some work doing on them.
Although Vicky's renovation ambitions are greater than Trevor's, they're both agreed on the overall wish list for their new home.
What we're ideally looking for in our new house is a minimum of 3 bedrooms, a decent sized lounge, decent sized kitchen and somewhere that we can eat. And outside?
I think outside we want a good sized garden up to an acre to answer Vicky's needs. And ideally I would like a storage facility for the caravan and a double garage.
The special features that I'm looking for, a wood burner would be really nice, and beams and some character in the property.
With money in the bank from the sale of their home, Trevor and Vicky have a healthy budget for their move.
If the house is absolutely what we were looking for, then we've got a total budget of £500,000.
Now, on a glorious summer's day such as this, the prospect of living in a caravan might not strike you as being so bad, but fast forward into the depths of a long, dark British winter and you may well change your tune. Certainly, Trevor and Vicky want to be out of their caravan by then and, well, frankly, who can blame them? But I think a few things are conspiring on our side. They've got £500,000, which up here is going to go quite a long way, and they're cash buyers. So let's see if we can't find them their new dream home before the winter comes. Trevor and Vicky are keen to focus their house search within a triangle of towns which include Lincoln, Newark and Grantham. We've found 3 prime properties to show them, but I won't be revealing the price of each until they've guessed first. Our final choice is our mystery house, which, as always, will throw an unexpected curveball into the housing mix. Now then, Trevor, Vicky, the road is open in front of you.
Yes.
You are hot to trot, as it were, and quite literally, because you're no longer living at home, as it were, but you've got your caravan.
Yes.
Caravan is the home at the moment.
I don't think we've ever had anybody who's been living in a caravan who's so keen to find a property so quickly.
Yes, we don't mind the caravan in this time of year, but we would like to find a house before the bad weather starts, yeah.
Well, your budget is, what, let's say £500,000?
Yes.
OK, that's absolutely it,
Yes,
maximum.
yeah.
But you are effectively cash buyers now.
This is it. The money's in the bank. We're ready to go.
And the area that we're going to be searching in is not one that you've explored hugely, I
No,
presume.
no.
OK. Well, your £500,000 is going to go some way up here. We've got some great properties for you to have a look at. Let's go and see if we can spend some money, shall we?
Fantastic.
Follow me.
Go.
With their budget of £500,000, Trevor and Vicky are looking for a detached character property that offers them a spacious living room, preferably with a feature fireplace, a good-sized kitchen diner, 3 bedrooms, and Vicky would also like an acre of land. And on top of that, they'd like it all wrapped up in an edge-of-village location so they have a local community on their doorstep. Now, in terms of getting you value for money, I get the sense, Vicky, that you're up for a bit more of a project than Trevor is.
Yes. My passion is renovating properties, but Trev's lived through some of my renovation projects before and refuses to do it again.
Now, what is it about Lincolnshire that really sells it to you? If you were persuading somebody to move here, what would it be?
I think it's got more scenery than people probably imagine, particularly when you think of the Wolds.
Yeah.
And then you've got the market towns, you've got the historical sort of centre of Lincoln with the castle and the cathedral.
Yep.
You've got racecourses, you've got stately homes, so there's quite a lot to go and see.
We're getting our house search underway in the historic hamlet of Temple Brewer, so named because of the 12th century stone tower that is thought to have been built by the Knights Templar. The closest hub for amenities is 4 miles away in the village of Leadenham, where there's plenty of scope to socialise with the community. Back in Temple Brewer and set in open countryside is our first property, which I hope will get Vicky's vote in terms of its size, character appeal and land. OK, here we are.
Wow.
Property number 1.
That was a quick wow.
Nice to get off on a good footing, I think. Yeah, Trevor, are we wowing you?
Yeah, that looks good.
Interesting, isn't it? Can you see, it's in two sort of halves. This is the newer bit, which is,
Right.
represents a huge extension to the footprint. The older bit, to the right-hand side there, that's about 1870. Couple of old farm workers' cottages that were then knocked into one, and then the whole thing much extended in about 2006.
Very nice.
Yeah?
Yeah,
It's good
first
the fact
impressions
that
are good.
it's on a plot with land all around it rather than being right on the edge of a plot.
Yeah. OK. Right, let's have a look inside. Come on. I've high hopes for this stone property, which, since the recent renovations, provides extremely generous living areas inside. Right, let's see what you think. Come on in. Could this be the one, I wonder?
Could be.
Come on in.
Wow.
How about that?
Yeah, there's a kitchen.
Yeah?
Very nice indeed.
Isn't it? A nice little utility room through there. There's a stable door as well. Great for the dogs.
Yeah, I like the idea of having a seating area as well. Like the windows as well.
I'm going to say it's our sort of style, this, a sort of farmhouse type look.
And room for a sofa, which is good as well. That's where the dogs sleep.
The space offered here is echoed across the hallway in the separate dining room with its lovely feature fireplace. And the size of the main living room is a real showstopper. We've got effectively 3 rooms down here on the ground floor, but they are all really generous.
Yeah.
And I think that's the nice thing about it. It's not all pokey and tiny, which it could be.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And in
think it
storage,
just...
we've got a big sofa which would not look out of place in here at all.
Well, I mean,
No.
you know, you're going to need a few. Wood burner there, well, multi-fuel burner, actually, I should say.
Yeah.
So that's going to keep you nice and cosy. And again, just because it's all been so recently done, it's going to be well insulated. It's going to be an easy place to run. What's more, their dogs will have fun running in and out of the French doors, which lead onto a large decked patio area. With a useful cloakroom back near the entrance, that's the ground floor covered. So we'll head upstairs, which gives them 4 bedrooms in total. OK. As I say, we've got 4 to choose from. We'll start with this one. Could be quite a nice master bedroom.
Yes.
Or very nice guest room. Entirely up to you. The other 2 bedrooms consist of an equally large double with an ensuite that the current owners are in the throes of completing, although the family bathroom has been nicely fitted out with a separate shower cubicle. The 3rd bedroom is currently decked out with bunk beds, but we'll take a look at the biggest option for them. There we go. I mean, it's a huge room, this. I mean, it's the size of a generous downstairs reception room, but it's the master for all the obvious reasons.
It's a massive room. I'm not sure I
room.
like it this big, actually.
You know, you can kind of retreat up here,
Yeah.
but again, it is difficult to know what
It's
to
a
do
strange-shaped
Yeah.
room.
with
Very
a room
strange.
this big.
Yeah.
The master bedroom also has an ensuite which is due to be completed soon, but dare I say it, Vicky seems daunted by the sheer size of the room, which is understandable, having lived in the confines of a caravan for several months. Come outside, come and have a look at this. Although this property gives them acres of house, Trevor will have to forego his request for a garage. Nevertheless, they would have just under 2.4 acres of land, made up of a formal lawned area at the front and a huge adjoining paddock. In terms of vegetables and stuff,
It's an allotment.
a huge allotment, yeah.
There's plenty of room for what we want to do.
Yeah.
You'll probably have to get some sheep.
Well, let's have a think about the price then. I mean, you've looked at many properties in this area.
We have.
What do you think this is on the market for?
It's quite a difficult one.
It's in a very rural location, so it's fairly isolated. It's a physically big place on a big plot. We haven't been looking at houses with this much land, so I think it must be top end of the budget. I would think probably 485.
485?
I would say about 450.
450? Yes. If only it were. But it is under budget, that's the good news. You were closest, Trevor.
Right.
This is on the market now for £495,000.
Right at the top.
Right at the top, but then it's all done.
Yeah.
Yes,
But I think it's a good one to start with.
very much so.
Go and have a look around.
Okay.
Great.
Go and have a further explore of it.
Right.
And I'll catch up with you later.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Off you go. Brilliant. Well, there we are, house number 1, which I think went rather well. There is a little bit more here than perhaps they wanted, but for the value and for the price, I think this is a really good start for them. Out of the caravan and into this glorious building.
Under budget at £495,000, our detached stone house answers most of the demands of their brief, giving them a huge character property that includes 2 large reception rooms, an enormous farmhouse kitchen, 4 bedrooms, 2 with an ensuite, and although the 2.4-acre plot doesn't give Trevor his garage, Vicky gets more than twice the amount of land than she asked for.
Yeah, I really like the house. I think it's got really good character. I think the kitchen is superb space, and the living room is a nice big living room. I like the log burner. And yeah, the bedrooms are a good size. Trev would probably think there's too much land, but I think that's a bonus.
I don't know that we actually need a house this big, or with a garden this big, or quite this isolated. I think I would probably prefer to be on the edge of a village so they've got more community contact.
Right, property 1 done.
Yes.
Are we happy?
Yes.
Yeah, very.
I think a nice one to start with.
Yes, a nice house.
Yeah, it's a lovely house. And of course you're getting a little bit more land than you bargained for.
Yeah.
So one to put on the list, perhaps?
One for careful consideration, I think, yeah.
Yeah, good, right then. Keep considering. Come on.
Agriculture underpins much of Lincolnshire's heritage, and also the livelihood of around 16,000 people who work in the county's related farming industries. Coupled with food production, the county has a strong market tradition, and Louth, dubbed the capital of the Lincolnshire Wolds, is a prime example. In the past, local residents have campaigned against the opening of large supermarkets in the town centre. As a result, there's a strong presence of independent food retailers and also a vibrant market that takes place 3 times a week. As Vicky is keen to start growing her own vegetables, earlier in the week we arranged for them to visit Harrington Hall near Spilsby, which has opened up its gardens to support the work of Garden Organic, a local charity. Rick Aaron is one of their experts and is full of ideas on how to get started.
So Rick, we're absolute beginners at this, so what vegetables would you recommend that we started with that are fairly easy?
OK, I'd first of all recommend only growing something that you're going to eat. There is no point growing things that you're not interested in eating. But there are a few key things that you should be growing. If you're digging up ground to start with, as new growers, then potatoes. Easy to grow, high yield, but more importantly, they break up the earth, meaning next year it's going to be easier to grow more and more things.
Okay.
Great things for beginners are radishes. In literally 6 weeks, you'll be eating what you've put in seed. That quick. Other good things to grow are those that are expensive. OK, that's when you really are getting the benefit out of growing your own. So you want to think about growing soft fruit, especially strawberries, raspberries, things that are really starting to cost a lot in the supermarkets. And remember, of course, supermarkets sell you things that types of vegetables that are high yielding. You can grow things that actually taste nice. And that's where growing your own really comes into play.
Beans, peas and potatoes are famed Lincolnshire staples, as are cabbages, and Rick is going to show them how to plant out some of the red variety.
And I'm going to pop this out. You can see the roots are there. I'm just going to pry some aside. Pop it in the hole. Bit of water. And then fill the hole in again.
Let's hope we can unearth a property with their perfect plot. We continue our house hunt on the southern fringes of their search area in the village of Pickworth, which has around 200 residents living in its scattering of pretty stone properties. Just down the road, Folkeingham's historic centre dates back to the 18th century, when it was a renowned stopping point on the Lincoln to London stagecoach route. Our second house is located, as they requested, on the edge of the village and hails from the same Georgian era.
It's quite difficult from here to see the whole property. There's a kind of corner of it, but effectively what we've got here is a gorgeous farmhouse.
Right.
That's been, you know, quite improved over the years, and it's just gone through quite a recent sort of transformation as well. And I suppose the other obvious thing to point out here is the double garage, mate.
Yeah.
So,
I noticed that coming down.
yeah.
Little greenhouse for you.
Yes.
Yes, you can see it
Yes.
tucked away behind there. It's got all the kind of elements one would look for.
Yeah,
And of course, we're nicely set back from the road, although it's a very quiet lane
Yes.
anyway. Right, let's go inside and see what you make of this one.
Okay, thanks.
First impressions of our farmhouse are favourable, and I'm sure they'll find the rustic character of the interior very promising.
Right. Nice little kind of vestibule, hallway there. But let's start in here. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, look at all that. Look at the smile. Yeah. I think this is more you.
Yeah, I think so. Is that the cooker there?
Yeah.
It's an oil-fired range, as you can see. It is a kind of hang-up from, I think, what used to be the kitchen.
Well, you could take that wall out if that's the kitchen.
You could just go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just open the whole thing up. Yeah, which would get rid of that archway and give you a massive kitchen diner. Happy?
Yes.
Right, come on, follow me. See what you would do in terms of redeveloping it. Yeah. You're right, taking that wall out would make a big difference.
Yeah, it's a small kitchen, and that's a shame. I think you could incorporate the two together really well.
We've got a very generous utility room through there, stable door out and so forth. So again, in terms of the dogs...
No, that's essential, really, for us.
Yeah. Right, come on, follow me through here.
Let's see if the proportions of the living room measure up.
Now, come into here. Now, a bit like our first property, they've gone for the kind of open plan living space kind of thing by taking out a wall.
What strikes me are the views from each of the windows.
Through here, we've got what was a bedroom some years ago. It's now quite a nice little sitting area, and there's also a downstairs shower room through there as well.
Good.
Right then, let's go upstairs. Follow me.
We seem to be on the right lines with the scale of the ground floor living areas, so let's head up the spiral staircase with the brick-barreled wall, an eye-catching feature. There are 3 bedrooms, one which is a good-sized double, the other a single with a family bathroom next door. But we'll explore the main bedroom at the front of the house.
Now, this is not necessarily the biggest room up here, but it is the master for, I think, some quite nice reasons. It's got this lovely curved wall, guys, which is obviously the back of the staircase. Yeah. But you've also got that lovely view down the kind of more formal part of the garden.
Yeah, the views are lovely, and I think the bedroom is big enough, isn't it?
Yeah, this would be well ample for our needs.
Well, it does sort of lead on into this kind of sort of walk-in wardrobe-y kind of sitting room type arrangement.
I'd have to think about this one, I think. Yeah, very unusual.
Are you thinking about knocking down another wall?
Possibly.
I'm sorry, mate. I thought we'd pick a hammer.
I thought we'd left it all downstairs, but no, clearly not.
This room flows on to an awe-inspiring study area whose vaulted ceiling and exposed beams really enhance that sense of space. But now it's time to make our exit via the second staircase and head outside, which should please Vicky as she gets around 2 acres of land, including a paddock with a neighbouring apple tree orchard. The front of the house looks out over very attractive lawns, which is where we're heading.
So this is this lovely formal garden we keep talking about. Long last, you've got a chance to see it. Look at it. Lovely. And there's the property. Well, let's have a think about the price, because obviously that's going to have an effect on things. So, Trevor.
It's difficult. It's 3 bedrooms. It's not got an ensuite, but it is on a super plot. So I would think probably 445.
445, yeah?
I think top end of the budget because of the plot that it's on.
Yep.
495.
You are closest. It's actually on the market for 525.
Wow.
But, and this is an important but, having spoken to the owner, they would take 5. They wouldn't take any less than 5, but they would take 5. And I think you're absolutely right. The reason for that is because of the plot that it has.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, look, go and have another look around. Think about how many walls you're going to knock down.
Definitely.
Get this puzzle's going, mate.
On the market at £525,000, but open to offers which would bring it within their budget, our farmhouse is worth serious consideration as it provides them with 2 reception rooms, a kitchen diner that Vicky could open out, 3 bedrooms upstairs and that grand study. Outside gives Trevor his double garage, plus Vicky gets 2 acres of land.
I think when we first came down the drive to this property, it had a real wow factor to it because of the grounds, the horses, and just the way that it actually sits on the plot is fantastic. I think that with the work we would look to do in the kitchen, we could make it a really nice living kitchen, and the living room's fine. Having said that, once we went upstairs, things became a bit more complicated for me, and I'm not quite sure how we would use the space upstairs.
I did find the upstairs particularly a little bit confusing with the room layout as to what rooms were actually intended to be. I was a bit surprised with the house when we actually got to look round it. It seems a lot bigger on the outside than I actually found it to be on the inside.
Well, that's the end of number 2. Is that another contender?
I don't know.
I think we'll keep you guessing on this one, Jules.
As evening falls over the Lincolnshire skyline, the first day of our house search draws to a close. Armed with their £500,000 budget, retired police officers Trevor and Vicky are biding their time living in their caravan near Newark until they can pinpoint their perfect country property. The 2 options they've seen so far have highlighted their differing views on the house-land dilemma. But will our mystery house finally give them their field of dreams?
This is your little bit extra.
Which bit?
Both bits.
Both fields.
And I experience Lincolnshire architecture at its most opulent.
Well, so far, Vicky and Trevor have been respectfully polite about our first 2 properties, but I wouldn't exactly say their response has been electric. Yes, they've been interested, but I want to really see them come to life, really set alight by the prospect of moving in to a property. So I think we need a bit of a secret weapon, something like a mystery house.
Our mystery house takes us to the village of Fulbeck, which, along with its 13th century church, also has the draw of a local pub and arts and crafts centre. At the end of a small country lane, this property swaps Trevor's request for a garage with a building that could have money-earning potential.
What we have got you is, again, something nice and old. We think it's Georgian, and it also comes with this annex.
Right.
Which could be quite a useful form of income for you if you decided to go down the route of any kind of long-term or indeed holiday let and so forth to top up your retirement funds.
Yeah.
Should you wish to.
It's an idea, it's a thought.
Yeah. Right, come on then, let's have a look inside.
We'll return to that idea for the annex later, but now it's time to explore this former threshing barn, which was converted about 25 years ago.
OK, Vicky. Come in, Trevor.
That's a nice kitchen.
Yeah?
Nice shape.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Very cosy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got a lovely farmhousey, cottagey feel, which is what we want.
This is the first house, I think, where I've seen you both come alive
Yeah.
in any given room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just got a nice feel about it. It's difficult to explain it.
You're
really,
getting closer, Jules. You're getting closer.
OK, good. Well, let's see if we can edge forward to a successful result. Come and follow me through here.
Tucked away off the kitchen is a handy utility room, and the reclaimed panelling in the main living room builds on the character feel.
Yes or no?
Yeah. It's
yes.
different.
I love the window. That's the first thing that strikes you when you walk in here.
I mean, the view is superb, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
Beautiful.
I think it's really cosy. I mean, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a nice room.
Panelling, the doors, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the brickwork as well. At the back of the fire, that's nice.
Lovely texture to that. Yeah. Hurrah. Shall we continue?
Yes, please.
Follow me through here.
At the other end of the sitting room is a superb entertaining space.
Now then, in terms of dining rooms...
That is fabulous.
Isn't it?
Yeah, suddenly
It's
the
amazing,
ceilings are a lot higher and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've obviously sort of dropped a level here, but it's a fantastic kind of manorial space, this.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah.
Super room.
It's also got something of a music room. Through here.
More rooms.
Yeah, have a look at this. In you come, guys.
Wow, more rooms.
More rooms.
Yeah.
It does sort of go on a bit, doesn't it?
Just keeps going on.
Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah.
Good. Right, let's have a look upstairs. Follow me.
Back on the other side of the dining room, there's a generous study flowing through to an additional office area. Beyond that, there's an annex made up of a kitchenette, a shower room and a nice-sized double bedroom. So, subject to the right residential planning consent, the holiday let could become a reality. With our tour of downstairs complete, we'll venture upstairs to see what they make of the 4 bedrooms. First stop, the master.
Now this, I think, would be for you two. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, this would be ideal.
Yeah, this would suit us and our furniture.
Yeah.
Nice oak furniture in here.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
The master ensuite leads through to a self-contained dressing area. Further down the main landing, the second bedroom is a pleasant double with an exposed wooden floor. At the far end are 2 well-decorated singles, both with ladder access up to some thoughtfully converted loft space. But time to head outside and survey the garden, complete with a terrace which is beautifully framed by the house and offers more than initially meets the eye.
There we go. I love this little courtyard
Yeah.
Yeah.
that extension has created. This lovely garden, loads of herbs here and herb beds and so forth. And then, of course, this.
Yeah. Very beautiful.
Yeah?
It's lovely. I mean, it's so tranquil, the setting. It's really nice.
Yeah. Now, all in all, in terms of space, there's about 2 acres.
Really?
So there's more than just this bit. And the rest of it is over there.
Okay.
We're spoiling you, aren't we?
Yes, definitely.
The gardens seem to be coming up roses, but I think the land that's set away from the main house might clinch it.
This is your little bit extra.
Which bit?
Both bits.
Both fields.
All in 2 acres. And I have to say, given how flat this county is, this must be one of the only hills in it to give you a view stretching northward over Lincolnshire.
That's very special.
Tremendous, that, isn't it?
Isn't it
Yeah.
just? I think you're kind of taken with the Mystery House.
Very much
Yeah.
so.
OK, let's see if you're going to be taken with its price.
I think it's going to be, I don't know, 540.
540, yeah.
I can't see it being anything less than 525,
But you're hoping.
but I'm hoping.
You're hoping it's 525. It's currently on the market for £585,000.
Wow.
But it could be yours for £525,000.
Right?
Right.
Also, don't forget, of course, you've got the possibility of supplementing the extra cost with the holiday let. See if you can make it work.
OK, we'll do that.
OK.
Thanks, Jules.
Thank you.
Off you go. Brilliant.
Granted, our mystery house is over budget at £585,000, but we couldn't resist showing it to them because they are cash buyers and can move quickly. What's more, the owners are interested in accepting an offer much closer to Trevor and Vicky's upper limit. It provides them with 3 gorgeous reception rooms full of character features, a kitchen diner which got the thumbs up, 4 bedrooms with a master ensuite. The icing on the cake for Vicky was the 2 acres of land which has fabulous views of open countryside. And there's potential in converting the self-contained annex into a money-earning holiday let.
I really like the house as you approach it. I mean, there's a real wow factor when you first see it. And then, to me, it just got better when we got inside. I love the kitchen, the size of it, the presentation of it. Likewise with the dining room and the lounge. And then again upstairs, the bedrooms to as we would want. The garden and the grounds outside are absolutely superb.
I really like this house. It's somewhere that you just want to take your shoes off and stay, really. The only issue for me is that it is fairly well over our budget, but there is the annex. We could maybe make some of that money back just by making a few alterations in the annex. Could bring in some good revenue. Definitely one to think about. Yeah, really excited. Hi, Jules.
How you doing?
Yeah, really good, thank you.
Seen it all?
Yes.
Think so now?
Yeah.
Happy with the annex?
Yeah, really good space. Lots of potential with that, I think.
Well, the whole thing, I think, has got bags of potential. It's a
Yeah.
gorgeous property.
Yeah,
It is, of
it
course,
is.
the Mystery House. You wouldn't expect anything less. But we have given you plenty of other options, I think, so far. Happy?
Yes, very happy.
Very good.
Throughout Lincolnshire's working landscape are a number of architectural gems, with Burley House near Stamford being one of its most spectacular landmarks. Sitting within a 300-acre deer park, landscaped by Capability Brown, this is the grandest of Lincolnshire's historic houses, and I'm keen to find out more about its illustrious past. Philip Gompert, Burley's house manager, has kindly agreed to show me around.
Well, Philip, you have the extraordinary job of managing.
Daunting job.
Managing this building. It's an extraordinary thing. Tell us a bit more about the man that built it.
It was built by William Cecil, Lord Burley. Now, he was the Lord Treasurer to Queen Elizabeth I. He was probably the most important man of his age and really her right-hand man for 40 years of her reign.
Clearly at the hub of political life then.
He knew exactly what was going on everywhere. He was a very cunning man, very intelligent man, as he had to be. Could you imagine being at the top of his tree for 40 years? At a time when you could lose your head over nothing at all.
But he'd need to be a man of some imagination to create this. I mean...
Yeah, it's that transition from being at your medieval castle to your palace, your Baroque palace. You've got the gatehouse, which you can see in the centre here. It's a reminiscence of a gatehouse of a castle with the turrets on either side. But at the same time, he was trying to show that he was an educated man as well. On the roofline, you'll see the number of Doric columns, which are actually chimneys. There's a number of sort of other classical features that you have, showing that he was an educated in the classics and new to his age as well. And you can see he's still got little messages of his past as well. His coat of arms, which you'll see decorated all over the outside in stonework and on the metal golden gates that you can see, show the wheat chief, which is his farming background of his family. He was new money, showing that he'd actually made it in life and he was here.
Overall, building Burley took 32 years, and during that time, William Cecil personally played the role of architect, stamping his authority all over the design of his palatial home. And rooms such as the Great Hall retain some awe-inspiring original features.
We've just come through here, we're into the Great Hall.
Oh, look at this.
Fantastic space, isn't it?
Wow, the ceiling is amazing.
This is true Tudor architecture, your double Howell beam ceiling. It's great to actually feature this room itself, as is the enormous fireplace that you'll see on this wall.
Yeah. I guess, as far as he was concerned, being the man of his time, Burley wouldn't have been complete without a Great Hall.
Great Hall was that transition from being your medieval palace, the sort of medieval castle that you had. Everything would evolve around the Great Hall, from sort of eating, drinking, entertainment that would have happened. But that soon went out of fashion, and it was only a short while after the Great Hall was created that it was there just used as a storeroom. It wasn't used at all.
Oh, for a storeroom like this one.
Yeah, it's good size, isn't it?
And you can't help but gaze upwards as you ascend Hell's Staircase, the ceiling of which was painted by Italian-born Antonio Verrio, who from the 1670s was a favourite artist of the crown and upper echelons of the nobility. The next room is widely rated as one of Verrio's greatest masterpieces.
What have we got in here?
Well, of course, we come up through hell into heaven. This is Verrio's heaven room. One of his finest rooms that he's done, possibly anywhere in the country. He pictured himself kneeling down the corner. He's the chap with his wig, his bald head on.
Beautiful.
And he was responsible for painting this. He would have had a whole team of people helping him out. People painting the architectural features, people painting the floor arrangements, the gilding work. He just mainly concentrates on the figures, which you can see are quite full.
As the master would?
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Besides housing one of the largest collections of Italian old masters in the country, it's also played host to royal guests, with a bedroom created specifically for Queen Victoria and Prince Albert's visit in 1844. But time now to reflect on the man who made Burley possible.
Here is the great man himself, William Cecil, Lord Burley.
That's him there in the middle?
See in the middle, with his Queen below, Queen Elizabeth I below.
What makes this such a fascinating house tour is that so many rooms here are spilling over with reminders of nearly 500 years of British history.
Now, as buyers go, Trevor and Vicky are in a fantastic position because, of course, they can move straight away. And whilst they're not rushing the process, they're clearly keen to get a move on. So have we managed to relieve them of up to £500,000 of their hard-earned money and, of course, find them their new dream home of the future? Well, as ever, there's only one way to find out, and that's to go and ask them. So guys, here we are at the end of our little tour around Lincolnshire. An area, of course, you know very well, but the question is, have we managed to get you out of your caravan before the winter?
I think you've given us a lot to think about.
OK, well, let's just remind ourselves of what we showed you. Our first property, much extended in lovely Ancaster stone.
Yeah, the extension was really well done. And I like the way the arched windows were repeated along the property. That was really good.
Yeah, right, Vicky, I like the presentation of the house. It was a bit like a TARDIS to me. It seemed a lot bigger on the inside than it appeared from the outside.
Yeah, nice accommodation downstairs. It started to go a little wrong for me on the first floor.
Did it? Why? Because that master bedroom, let's face it, was like a tennis court. I mean, it's huge.
I think that was part of the problem, just the size of it and what you could do with it to make it feel cosy.
Interesting. Our second property, I had great hopes for, I have to say, but I think I might have been misguided somewhat. What happened there?
I thought the approach to that house, down that long driveway with the horses to the left of it and the formal garden to the right, that was superb. But the house didn't warm me.
Go on, Trevor, did it warm you any more?
It did as I was going down the driveway. I mean, the paddock and the garden all looked spectacular, really user-friendly as well. It was all nice and level.
Yeah.
So when we got inside the property, that it started to go downhill a bit for me on that one.
Oh, guys, you're a tough nut to crack, you two, aren't you, really?
That's got to be right.
Well, it has got to be right. Well, I have to say it was with some trepidation then that I took you to our final property, of course, the Mystery House. Lovely converted barn with a very viable annex attached to it, which, you know, could prove useful. And, of course, another couple of acres thrown in for good measure. And I thought you really both lit up in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that most excited me. Like the approach, like the first impact of the property when you saw it. Then that one did follow on. You went into the kitchen and it was nicely presented and it had got that comfy, cosy, farmy feel to it.
Now, in fairness, it was over budget. But do you think it would work if you could turn that whole annex wing, say, into a viable and profitable holiday let?
I think it's probably time to work out the finances for that one.
Well, that leads me on to my next question, is where do we go from here? And I suspect there's going to be a lot of number crunching going on.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the next thing, out with a calculator.
Yeah.
House number 3, the Mystery House, was definitely the one that I fell for.
Brilliant, guys. It's been a real pleasure. We wish you all the very best of luck. And, of course, as ever, when you have done the sums, let us know. And we might come back and see you.
That'd be fantastic.
Great, thank you.
Enjoyed it, thanks.
Really enjoyed it.
Well, that's it. Today's show is over. And the last I saw of Trevor and Vicky, they were heading to the bar armed with a notepad and a calculator. They've clearly got an awful lot of thinking and planning still to do, but they've got to get a move on because the summer is running out. And I'm pretty sure they don't want to spend this winter in their caravan, lovely as it is. I'll see you next time.
If you'd like to escape to the country in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland or England and would like our help, then please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.